Memorial Day weekend begins with a special tribute, allowing a Sioux City Marine legacy to live on. Yesterday was 20 years to the day after Lance Corporal William B.J. Lusink was killed in an IED in Iraq. And now a bridge in Maurice bears his name. And I was there as they put it up.
20 years ago today, May 22, 2006, we lost BJ in Iraq. He was a United States Marine, killed by an IED.
And exactly 20 years later, the fallen Sioux County Marine is getting a lasting tribute, a bridge near Maurice, Iowa, named for Lance Corporal William B.J. Lusink.
He was the radio man for his platoon.
After Lusink made the ultimate sacrifice at the age of 21, drivers heading over this bridge will see his name and be reminded of his sacrifice every day.
We live the way we do here in the United States because of those guys and those men and women that serve all the time.
The bridge is north of Maurice and north of Highway 75 junction with Highway 10, known as the $1 Million Corner.
I love that they're going to see his name and hopefully look him up if they don't know him and see what he's done for this country and how much he loved the country and the community that lives and serves.
Friday morning, Lusink's family and loved ones braved the pouring rain as the Iowa Department of Transportation put up the sign to honor the fallen Marine.
Somebody was kind enough and just got our permission and then flew with it. So we lost BJ, but he believed in what he did. And like most of the veterans I talked to, I think if he had another chance, he would do it again.
Even though there is a hole in the Lusink family, they say the community support helps get them through it.
When someone doesn't come home, it's awful. And people say time heals all wounds, and I wouldn't say that's necessarily accurate, but it does get better.
There's still tears after 20 years. These are the people that got us through, that continue to get us through, because of course even after 20 years we still feel the hole.
Near Maurice, Iowa, Jacqueline Aragon, KCIV News 4.